Hello, this is Lisa Hazard with the podcast We're All Psychic. And today we have a very special guest, and it's a really interesting topic. But first, I'd like to introduce her. Her name is Jenn. Jenn, would you like to say hello?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
I am really glad you're here. And if my cat will not step on my computer, I can ask you a question and it will like close on us. Do you think we're all psychic?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How did you get to that conclusion?
So I got to that conclusion by recognizing that if the spirit has come back onto this plane, then we all have access to the divine through the psychic senses. So, yes.
Yeah, the divine. Oh, that's a topic we need to cover in a podcast, I think. We really haven't touched on what the divine is in any podcast, but that resonates with me because I think that's right it. So how did you you're a psychic reader? Listeners, she's a psychic reader.
Yes.
She has many talents, I imagine. But how did this kind of develop for you? Were you always aware of it, or?
So this really started for me when I was about 5. And I started seeing things, I started hearing things, and, it just, no one really believes you when you're 5. Everyone has imaginary friends.
Yeah.
But, after that, our house burned down, and it was like a series of really bad events that led
Wow.
to a lot of really negative, dark things happening. I spent a lot of my childhood around a lot of death. So,
Yeah.
but lo and behold, flash forward, it was just a dark time. So, but when I was introduced to Reiki, that is what actually confirmed for me that I wasn't insane.
Yeah, Reiki is something. Yeah,
Reiki is amazing.
I get Reiki as much as anytime, as often as I can. When I need it, I'll be like, oh, please give me Reiki. I have a friend and another person in locally who offer me Reiki, and it's just wonderful. So we were listeners, we were going to do a podcast on energy healing like Reiki, but we emailed back and forth, and she told me she had something to do today. And she told me what she was doing. And I said, that sounds like a podcast. So do you want to tell the listeners about what you do?
Yes. So one of the things that I find is part of my divine purpose is helping spirits and helping families that are kind of stuck in these cold cases, working with private investigators or detectives that are open to this type of work. Has been really rewarding and has actually been incredibly beneficial. I've worked on teams, and this particular time I'm working by myself, and it's great because it's local to my area, and that means I'm directly impacting the community.
Yeah.
And I own a community healing center, so that's kind of what it's all about.
Oh my gosh, that's like my dream now, is to open one of those around here if the city would let me. I'm in Alabama,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, well, we're not far from each other.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, I love South Carolina. It's so beautiful. I love North Carolina. The whole East Coast is pretty, I think. But so that's when she told me this, listeners, I was like, oh my gosh, because and we've talked about this, I think, on the podcast before, the show Medium, which I mentioned to you, Jenn, when you we first were talking. So how does that? What happens there? Is it when you see, do you see things? How does it work for you when you start working a case?
Okay. There's 2 different ways that this has happened to me. One is I was brought in to help on a case that was 25 years old. And they asked us to just take the names, and that's all I ever do is a name and a date of birth. I don't touch anything else. The psychometry for me is real, so I'm very careful not to touch certain things.
Okay.
And when so we were asked to look at it that way. But this particular case, the actual spirit came and found me.
Oh.
The spirit came with a client of mine who was a brand new client. And long
Oh,
story short, it got me all the way back to the family. And today was the opportunity to, like, because when the detective first called, he was like, "Are you, could you come in and, we'd love to talk with you." And I was like, "Yes, but did she tell you what I do for a living?" Because I wanted to make sure that that was like really clear. And it was the most heartwarming response ever because he said, "Yeah, I'll take any help I can get." And that is how we can help in this way.
Yes, that is amazing. I'm gonna pick your brain about this maybe after the podcast, like how you got started and stuff. Something I'm interested in, but I do have a question. Like when for speaking of like the show, the TV show Medium, um, with Alison Dubois, like when you see those things, you see the like the terrible things that happen, like she might have in the show, or like 'cause from my experience as a medium, I don't really see the horrible things that much. I see the piece that
So
comes after.
it's really weird. Every single case has been so different how this happens for me. A lot of times, um, I will take the physical attribute of what's happened. So I'll be able to feel or like say, like, the back of my head is hurting, or I'm feeling like my head is wet, or I'm laying on the ground, and I can see the perspective of that person.
Okay.
But then I can also see the bird's eye view. But sometimes I do see the stuff I really wish I didn't see. And it definitely stays with me for a little bit. And other times I've told my guides, like, take it away. Take it away. I don't want it. I do not put this in my mind. Take it away.
Yeah. That's
And they
that's what
help.
they have to. Gosh. That's the part I would be like, how but when I was younger, I had a lot of uh experiences with seeing some dark stuff. And I guess like, the witches say you do the shadow work, and that's helped me when I was older, like using visualization techniques to kind of work with the nasty in life.
Yeah.
And,
I think my previous exposure to a lot of death and a lot of darkness and a lot of evil, a lot of demons, a lot of
right.
things that go bump in the night. I really feel like it prepared me for the things that I see now.
That
You
makes
know,
sense.
I just wish that there was someone that could have helped me when I was younger
I hear
to
you
be able
there.
to do this, which
Yeah.
is why I have the healing center now, because that I'm a huge advocate for child psychics and for child empaths and all of that. But
Yeah.
this, and one of the interesting things when working on these cold cases that I have found is being able to still pick up on emotions and like thoughts from 20, 25 years ago. But it's the empathy.
Yeah. What do
It's
you
the empathy.
what do you think about the idea of timelessness involved in all of this? Like maybe we're in time and then
Oh,
we
I think, you know, I will be honest with you. I think time is a completely human concept. Like, I recognize in the spirit world, time is completely
right,
irrelevant
right,
and to
yeah.
like everything else, but it's like Earth itself has this unique component that has a definitive start and end point, where the rest of it is almost all subjective to interpretation, you know?
Yeah, it really is. What else can we do with it but interpret it? That's what we're here
Exactly.
for, is to interpret experiences. Maybe, I don't know. But so like how long have you been doing detective work as a psychic? Has it been for a while or
So this, I was introduced to it at the very beginning of the lockdown with the pandemic. And it's
okay.
something I have always wanted to do. I've helped with persons, missing people before.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have phone calls from all over the country asking, hey, so and so's gone missing. And it's usually like a hiker situation or something like that. And I've been able to help people in that way.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, and what was really cool was my first experience with this involved people from all over the world getting together to tune in on this one thing. And the
Oh,
information,
wow.
it actually led to an additional arrest. It led to like denying of bail or bond or whatever that is. Like
Yeah, that's amazing. So you got
we
the
did
bad
our
guy.
job.
Good. Yeah, you got the bad guy. Oh, that's just like, oh my gosh, it's so intense. I'm used to relationship readings and, and some, some real spiritual kind of explorations with readings, but and some people come for a reading for like healing from trauma that can happen, but just working with people so closely on such like things that are like you said, like, they don't know what happened and you help them find out. That's the mystery, just
Exactly.
eats at them all their lives. That, like you said, that one was 25 years old, that one, that I can't
Their
imagine not
whole
knowing.
lives. And
Yeah.
what amazes me too is that I've seen on different ways, like sometimes the spirit of the person who's deceased is like totally gray and flat. And it tells me they've been there for a while.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
they've been there, they're stuck in this like repetitive gray kind of world trying to find answers, but they're lost. Whereas like more recently, I've got like a technicolor person standing in front of me in spirit form. No, this person's not going to tell me the name of the person who's responsible for their death. That's
Right.
hard to explain. And that's not really how it works for
It's
me.
not. Yeah, I don't get names either. Names, it seems like everybody has like a million names to me, and names just don't stay in my head at
names
all.
are names are really, they're very, very hard for me. And I tell people all the time, but I'm like,
Oh,
he's not going to tell me that. They're not going to tell me that because this is not for me. And a lot of times just being able to explain to families and even detectives, like the detectives who've been on these cases for a long time, or who really like, the grief is so strong that no one's doing anything. So we're looking for some kind of movement, some kind of
right.
action. And just being able to tell the family, like, they know what you're going through. This was
Yeah.
not, I'm someone who believes that pretty much every single crossing is predetermined ahead of time, even the really, really bad stuff. And I said to this family in this situation, this person knew that they'd be giving their life, but in doing so, he has literally just saved the lives of several other people, because this will come to a resolution and it will come to a close. And that's what it's for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like being able to help them. And how else can you explain when you're explaining to a detective, like, well, it looks to me like the murderer is this tall, like this, wearing this, has that, and then they flip out a picture and they're like, is this the person that you see? And it's like, yes.
Yeah. But
you
what's
know
his name?
like,
Yeah,
yes, that's it.
that'd be
And
crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
they kind of look at you like,
Are you
I don't
making
know.
that up?
Yeah,
Are
but
you
then again, it's
You
like,
just told
clearly,
them. You just told them. Yeah. So I guess you're around a lot of like people who really haven't had any experience when you work in with the detectives and stuff, like don't know much at all about energy work or psychic or
no.
everything.
And I'm very thankful that this particular gentleman even like had the wisdom to say, like, I'll take whatever help I can get,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's terrifying. I didn't know, you never know if they're going to be like, oh, like, am I being brought in to be questioned?
Yeah,
You
right.
know, like, just because I'm trying to help on this, but like, I mean, why not? People use
Yes.
bloodhounds to pick
Every
up
angle.
tracks.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. And like it just seems like it's been commercialized enough in movies and TV that it's like, it's always like it's a special thing to do, and because it's on a movie or a TV. But there's so
Yeah.
many psychics everywhere. I mean, of course, I think we all are, and you do too. I mean, but like, come on, guys, like take advantage. We
Well,
want to
yeah,
help.
it really, like, you can have people who specialize in so many different areas of life. right?
Yeah.
But when you have people who are legitimate mediums, legitimate psychics that can come in and say, hey, I'm super awkward and weird, but I think I can help you with this, because you might have sort of missed this one piece of information. And when it's kind of like, wait a minute, nobody looked at that? Wait, no, let's go back through these pages. Let's go back through these. And then it's like, oh my gosh, that's like the missing element. It's perspective. And we have
Yeah.
really cool perspectives.
Yeah, when we've been working with our energy as much, like for me, it's been probably a good 15 years consciously, like knowing what, not knowing what I'm doing, but knowing what I'm trying to pursue, like
Mm-hmm.
having an idea, like having some words to work with the concepts and, but I just can't imagine like I guess because I live at home, I work in the field, and I don't get out much anymore because of COVID. So I just it's like I do this a lot, podcasts, or
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to my other friends who are local who do readings and work with their energy and stuff. So I can't imagine walking into a police station and just being like, hey, So something I was wanting to ask you about this: do you ever get do these cases always come to you, or does a spirit ever just come to you outside of like any like external stimulate, like any other people coming along? Like, can a spirit come to you? Does that ever happen and just say, hey, can you help me out with this detective kind of thing, go over there to Iowa and something like that?
So, okay, true story. Not exactly like that, but pretty darn close. Like the dude who just came to me recently, like that's crazy, the connection of how he actually got to me from
Yeah.
like going along with the woman who came here, but the woman who was here was talking about someone else, but the spirit knew that other person, but the spirit needed me to talk to the mom,
Oh, wow.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think one of the other, like the real, one of the harder things for me, I don't know if you would remember a few years ago, there was like a horrible shooting at a school in South Carolina.
I
And
seem to remember that. Yeah.
it's not far from where I live. And no joke, for like 2 weeks, I just had all these kids around me.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, like, do I reach out to their parents? No, I can't reach out to their parents. I'm not. And so, you know what I did? I held
What?
space for all of them.
Yeah.
I just held space and I was just like, guys, it's a little overwhelming right now, but we're going to be okay. I just want everybody to relax, like obviously, holding space. But that is, that was probably like one of the things that really, really rocked me
Yeah.
was like, and they came to me before I even knew about the shooting. So it's like I woke up
Oh.
and there were all these kids around me and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. For
And
me,
then
yeah, I don't know what happened that like as a medium, I had to learn this technique of like basically blocking them all out and pulling them in or letting them in, when I want to work with them. But like my guides are, they're always here. But does that happen with you? Do you have like a kind of like ways that you not protect necessarily, but keep them from dominating your life?
oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have had to learn how to control the radio dial in my head
That's it. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
of like and sometimes like if when I'm really tired and I'm like way emotional, it's like the dial, I forget to change it. And it's like, or
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
forget to another way I look at it, like especially if I'm looking for a specific spirit. If I'm looking for someone specifically, imagine that I go up in my brain and I imagine this huge lighthouse and I'm sending out this light signal. And my light is what's going to attract the spirit to me because it'll feel that frequency. And man, oh man, oh man. Like sometimes I'll completely forget to like turn the light off.
Oh my
So
God.
when I'm like on the verge of hysterics and I'm like, I think I need to call my therapist, it's like, oh, wait a minute. No, 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 no. This is not mine. Oops, hang on.
Yeah.
let's let's take a salt bath and let's get rid of all of this. It's
Yeah.
not mine.
Let's burn a whole sage plant. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it
Yeah.
was interesting because like I was, when you're walking through the detectives area, when you go to the jail or wherever you're going to meet these people, um, I have to be really careful too when I walk through those places.
Oh, the energy of people who are bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
I
there.
really have to really like in those examples, I'll shield myself in almost like a solid like hematite orb
Ooh, that's
almost,
a good one. I'll have to remember that. Yeah.
kind
I
of just like
usually,
it's close to me and sleek so it can just
yeah, like a suit.
move past. Yeah,
Yeah.
very. Mm-hmm.
I usually what I do is I push out. I don't know how else to explain it, but I just
Oh, I
like
push out
push.
too.
I just project, I just push out, just happy, 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 whatever I can, just push it, and I try to keep it flowing through me and pushing it out. And that kind of keeps them, not it's, I don't know what about that technique works for me as far as filtering out the spirits and filtering them back in. But that's one that has really stuck with me and really helped me. And it also helped with empathy too, not, when I didn't know how to manage it or what was going on, that pushing, bringing the energy in, flowing out, and just pushing out. The listeners, you can't see us, we're on Zoom, but I'm making my hands like jazz hands over here. They're going out all over my
Flicking,
body, out of my
flicking.
head. They're flicking. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And it's a little. That's really cool. I've really enjoyed like speaking with you about mediumship, and I've talked to a couple of others on the podcast about mediumship. I don't get to talk to too many other mediums, so it's really cool.
Yeah, like, for the most part, I just tell people I'm an energy healer because I
Yeah.
break it all down. It all goes back to frequency for me.
Yeah, how
Every single
so?
aspect. Well, because every thought, every feeling, every emotion, like everything carries a vibration
Yeah.
no matter what. So if we can identify what that vibration is, then we can identify where it is on the spectrum in terms of like higher frequencies, which would be things like love, like joy, gratitude, and happiness, or the lower frequencies, depression, sadness.
Right.
I would say anger, but even though anger is like a bad one, it's actually like a higher frequency.
Mhm.
So, because it's just so strong.
Yeah.
So, like, when people are talking, or like if I'm trying to connect, whether they're conscious or not, if I just approach everything in terms of an actual frequency and looking at that frequency and what does it say, it's almost like reading sheet music in a way,
Yeah,
just interpreting what that is. And then we can manipulate that energy.
I
we
agree.
can we can increase it, we can heal it, we can repair it, we can stop leaks, we can make it faster, we can take out some if there's too much in there. Is it not yours? Well, then it's out of here, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, yes. I love how you just said that. When I was in audio school, I went to audio school when I was 26, 27, and I worked in audio from like when I was for a while, for a few years. And I when I was learning about resonance and frequency, I just like all like what you're talking about kind of like occurred to me too about the frequencies and resonance and how everything's vibrating. Everything's everything's its own individual frequencies, like combination of energy. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's hard to put into words. It's really
it's
hard, but
totally true though.
it feels right to me too. And it's like, we have our ears and they hear frequencies of, they experience these frequencies as sound. We have eyes, they experience the visual spectrum of frequencies as what that would look like, or
Mm-hmm.
what eyes do. And we all know what that is. But, the psychic sense to me, or the medium sense, or whatever the energy work is, it just feels like to me, it, oh wow, I just lost my train of thought. I just went, that happens a lot, don't worry.
Oh my gosh, me too. I tell it's great when I meet with clients, one of the like usually in the first 3 minutes, I'm like, look, I should probably warn you. I squirrel a lot. It's not
Squirrel.
intentional. There's just a lot going on in my brain. And like
Yeah.
sometimes if I just stop mid-sentence, it's usually because I'm listening, but like you can keep talking, but I'm still
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I had like a point, but that happens to me a lot. I'm also postmenopausal, so I'm actually coming out of it, and I'm having my memories come back mostly. But
Oh, well,
sometimes my attention span still goes. Yeah, but
so
I do have a lot of scrollies too.
it's interesting, like a good visual for the listeners of the podcast for like what we're talking about in terms of vibration is when you throw a rock or a pebble into the water. It's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
It's being able to read the ripple at any state in its existence and understanding the emotional interpretation behind that. And
Yeah.
then identifying where it's coming from in the body. Why is
That's
it
pretty
there?
cool.
How long have you held it there? Is it even yours? It's
That's
always a really big question.
You do it all, don't you? You do a little bit of everything, or a whole lot of everything, it seems
But
like.
I'm just an energy healer trying to serve humanity for the reason that God put me here.
That's really cool. And you're doing it. And that's like an inspiration to me. And I hope listeners, I think they will find that inspirational too. I wish you guys could see her. She exudes just like you exude just like peace and calm and like understanding and knowledge and like a chill kind of vibe too. You
Oh,
guys, you
thank
love her.
you.
She's like, yeah, she makes me nervous. She's so cool. So if anyone's listening to this podcast who might think they're a medium or might have experiences where they see something on the darker side or something like that, and they don't know about stuff, and they just came to this podcast and they're looking for something, what would you want to say to them? They're starting out, like you said, you wish you had someone when you were younger help you. What would you
Yeah.
want to say to them
The
that might
very
help
first
them?
thing I would say, I believe you.
Oh, I believe you too, listener. Yeah.
I believe you. And your fear is real and your feelings are completely valid. Now, let's talk about where you're feeling these things in your body. So, if you think you're speaking to something or you're feeling something in your house that's uncomfortable, my first question is, where are you feeling it? Because where you feel it in the body is going to tell me which chakra it's affecting most, which is going to tell me where you're most vulnerable right now. So, if somebody's like, oh, I feel it in my low back, it's like, well, okay, so you're not feeling safe in your house. Like you are really, really scared. Is that right? And people be like, yeah, absolutely.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Always check the body. Always ask the body.
Okay.
Like, because it really, this is just like from my experience too. When I was younger, I used to wake up and have these moments where I could not speak and I would be surrounded by these black hooded figures. I mean, the house I grew up in
Oh.
was really haunted, like
Oh.
so haunted. And
Yeah.
it was like absolute torture. Like by 12, I was a full blown
Yeah.
alcoholic. So,
Who
I
isn't?
mean, right. It's funny. I got into Reiki at 19 and I got sober like 3 years after that. So
Yeah.
it's really, really funny because it's like, okay. So once again, I got the energy aspect and I got the divine aspect of all of it, but that human side just dang it, that ego.
The human side makes it like gives us a reason to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
The
But
life thing.
the other thing that I would tell the listener is that whatever space it is that you are in, you must claim. You must claim and you must fill that space with your intentions, and your intention should be spoken so that the vibration is absorbed into the walls. That is a declaration that this is my protected space. This is my protected environment. I am shielded in white light. And whatever it is that thinks it can come in here is no longer welcome and banished at that point.
Ooh, you just saying it, I felt it like if there's anything around here that shouldn't be, it went away. That's yeah. I've never heard it put that way. After you talked about the frequencies and then saying it, and it soaks into the walls, it soaks into the furniture and the everything. I guess
Everything,
it
everything.
would,
How
and it's
many
there.
Yeah, all of the people who can walk into a room and tell that there has been a fight and there's nobody in the room. It's like, dang, it feels like somebody just had a fight in here. What is
Yeah.
that? You know, that's what it is.
Yeah, it stays, it lingers. And as a
Mhm.
psychic detective or working in that side of the energy healing, I imagine you go to a lot of places with that kind of where there's a lot of that vibration in the air places, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we just do that very carefully. I do
Okay.
that very carefully.
I would too. Yeah.
I would prefer to see a photograph, especially like compared to actually going to a location. I don't, if I remember, I don't think I've actually walked a live location during an active scene, but I have walked several murder scenes before, and it's just too much.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
just too much. It's too much. And it would be so cool if there really were like a psychic detectives department which
Yeah.
allowed empaths and mediums to be able, because your empath is going to be able to tell immediately if the people are lying. I mean, we're
Right.
human lie detectors. So
Yeah.
there's so much that we can offer, when we're working together, and it's all about literally trying to find justice and trying to
Yeah.
help people heal, because it's not just healing, it's healing for the family, it's healing for the spirit, it's healing for the justice system, it's healing for the,
Humanity.
yes, for everyone that this has
Yeah.
touched, you
Yeah.
know.
That's really amazing work that you're doing. And I thank you for it. Because
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know, think I could after doing this podcast. I was like, I've always kind of wanted to be able to help that way, but I don't know if I could handle it. I'll have to think about it some more. But that's really intense, to be surrounded by that. I mean, it's a lot different than reading mystery novels and,
It is
thrillers
very
and
different. And
yeah.
thankfully, this is not something that the majority of what I do, this is not the majority of what I do, but it is really, really cool.
Yeah. So
It is cool.
speaking of the majority of what you do, if any listeners would like to learn about your other services or anything else you can do, where could they find you?
So my website is
It's a
www.happyhealingforyou.com.
four. It's a four number, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
number 4 and then the letter U.
Okay, I'll put
And
that in the
that's,
podcast
yeah,
description.
that's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. What's cool with LinkedIn is that I offer and take the approach on there of vibrational leadership, because I've got this huge corporate background and I just can't let that nerdy side of me go. So when you so when you actually take like the empathy and the vibrational side of it and apply that to leadership, changes people's lives completely.
Oh,
But
I bet it does. I'm having you back if you want to come. We could pick that. You've got so
talk
much
about that.
experience. You have like tons of stuff. You have every area. I mean,
Yeah, like
I can.
really, what I own is a community healing center. It is
Yes.
a place that is a non-denominational spiritual place where people can come and reconnect and heal. We can talk about the things that most people are not very comfortable openly discussing out of fear of being judged.
Yeah.
And, for me, I tell every single person that sits down here with me and hangs out, no matter where I am, listen, there is nothing you can tell me that's going to weird me out. I talk to dead people for a living. Like, let's think about this. Like,
Yeah. And I
if
bet you've given so many people that validation and confirmation they've needed. Just having a place that exists like that to go to find out anything is just amazing. I would
it's
love
been
to come there.
pretty, it's been pretty remarkable. I mean, I've been doing this work for over 20 years. This is
Ooh, yeah.
I have actively been studying Reiki and energy healing for over 20 years.
Wow.
So like now it's like, I don't know, it's like we're ready. We're ready to take this happy healing concept, and I'm ready to like just freaking like find every person I can and be like, you're amazing. You're amazing.
You're amazing. You're amazing. We're all amazing.
We
We are though.
life is hard enough. Being
Yeah.
human is hard enough. It'd be really nice for us to be able to live in a vibration that feels good instead of constantly feels the opposite of.
Yeah, it's true. That's so true. And we can only do so much with our own energy to change our perspective and our atmosphere, and the way we feel about things on our own. but we can't change the people around us, and or the circumstances sometimes. But oh, there it goes again. I just lost my train of. I don't know what's going. I think it's because it's late because I'm usually in bed by 9, and I'm like, oh,
Me too.
you are too. Okay, I don't feel so
Oh my
bad
God.
then.
No, girl, I'm a single mom with 3 children. If I
You're
hit
in bed, yeah.
9:30, if I hit 9:30, people are like, why are you still up?
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming, and I would also like to thank or for coming to the video, for doing the podcast, and I would like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Oh, you're also an Everclear too, aren't you? As
I
a
am an
advisor.
Everclear advisor.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's your name on Everclear?
Jenn 1.
One, the number one.
Yeah, the number
Okay,
1,
okay.
JENN, and the number 1. It's
All
not
right,
very creative.
I'll put that as a little. There won't be a Gen 2. I'm sure of that because you took over one.
Right.
It's like a doppelganger wants to take your business.
Right.
I'm Gen 2. But I want to thank our sponsor Everclear, with the platform I can't talk tonight. It's a platform where you can get your advice and from psychics and empaths. So the goal there is to get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And is there anything else you'd like to add to the listeners or anything? No.
Well, I'm just super thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunity to talk about this. I'm thankful for the opportunity to meet you. You're fantastic.
I'm really happy to meet you too. I think that's why I keep
know.
spacing out. I'm enjoying your company. I'm like, what shit? Because I'm like, I'm getting all this information, not a bunch of information, but like good vibes and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, no, I'll just lose my train of thought. So, it's weird.
So, yeah,
But,
just remember we've got one life. We have one life, and we never know what the next moment is going to bring. So being present and being in a state of gratitude and honoring whatever it is, even if it's hard, even if it sucks, even if it sucks so bad, we just need to honor the crap out of it, and it'll get better.
Honor the crap out of it. I love it. Well said, so listeners. With that, I think I have to let this podcast with that note is a beautiful note to end on. And thank you so much, Jenn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Misty, wherever you may be when you listen to this. I missed you. And listeners, thank you again. And y'all have a wonderful night. Goodbye.